Hi, my name is Ronnie. I'm the electrician for Air One. Today we're actually upgrading a panel from fuse to breakers, and we also put a brand new meter base outside as well. So I was here the other day. I had to go and install this disconnect for the heat pump, and then a week later he went to go get a new stove, and he blew the fuse cartridge. So now we can't fix that, so we're just replacing the whole thing. Okay, so this is garbage. This one. I thought this was the bond wire because it looks like a number 6 gauge of copper. So that's going outside. So I figured that they bonded the meter base instead of the panel, which you're allowed to do it if you're using the metal pipe. But I seen this and it looked like the wire was cut because it was dark. Now that I have my light on, they were just using this as a sheath to cover the ground wire, and it's actually bonded properly. Well, once you go to breakers, you're good until like the bus bar fails. Like the bus bar is the main centerpiece where all the breakers go into. If that fails, that's the only time you got to change a breaker panel. So this is a panel upgrade. So we're upgrading from 100 amps fuse to a 100 amp breaker panel. This is overloaded, like it's way too many breakers on, well, fuses on it, so that's why we had to put a pony panel. But that's not the reason why we're changing. We're changing it because for some reason the stove tripped inside the box upstairs and it burned out the fuse cartridge. So instead of repairing a fuse cartridge, we're just putting a whole new 100 amp Siemens panel, 32 circuit, and it's going to be a lot more easier for the homeowner. We're going to label everything properly. So right now we're just disconnecting all the neutrals, all the grounds, and then we're going to pull this thing off the wall. Had to take off the sweater because I'm already sweating because, you know, I'm skinny. She's coming down. Okay. Right now we're gonna see how that panel is gonna fit. Not bad. It's looking good because I'm glad I don't have to change any of this. The wires on this side look like they're gonna reach this side. We might have to do a junction, which is you put them in a box and run new lines off of it and bring it around and come under the new panel. Quick and easy. So, like I was saying downstairs, we weren't planning on changing the load wires. These are load wires. We weren't planning on changing that. We thought it was going to reach inside a Siemens panel, but since the panel is going sideways, the breaker's on the opposite side. So the wires will never reach. It's only 6 inches coming out. So now, Hydro's rule, every time you change the load wires on especially meter bases like this, the shallow ones, they want us to change everything all out. Because they say it's dangerous, like if you look in here, they say it's dangerous for them to rehook it up in this small confined space with hydro wires. So that's why we have to change now everything. Hopefully these wires are gonna reach. So if they don't reach, I'm in trouble. All I know is freezing. Woo. See? Had this in the box for about maybe 6 months, and I said one day I'm going to use it. Finally today I get to use it. Trying to pull out this coupling. Oh, I think, yeah. Because now what we do, we use PVC and we glue. These are all threaded pipes. That's the way they used to do it back in the day. Okay, so now we're at the meter base stage. And let's just hope service lines are gonna reach. Right there. It was meant to be. Look, even the glue's frozen. See if we can let her dry up. We're gonna bring the 90. We're measuring for the 90 to go in, but the only problem is the coupling doesn't fit. So now we gotta open it up. Using my hammer drill to chisel out the concrete. That's the only way we can do it. Such a tight area. Okay, perfect, okay. So today was kind of a struggle. I'm used to doing meter bases and with the overhead mast totally. I do it like probably different than everybody. I actually use PVC and rigid pipe. The inspector didn't like when I used a female rigid connector to a male PVC thread. So we had to change it all to metal, but I've done hundreds of them like that, and no inspector said anything, but it all depends on what the inspector wants. So we just changed it. It set us back about an hour, which is fine. It is what it is to get it done. It looks exactly the same, but the only difference is he wants it metal. That's the only difference. But whatever he says goes. You got to just do it. So that's what we just did. We're gonna go inside. I want to put the panel up and get that 90 nice and straight, and then I come out here and I put the pipe in and run my service lines, take pictures and send it to the inspector, and wait for him to call Hydro to reconnect. And then as we're doing that, we're going to be putting wires into the panel and making everything somewhat neat because of how long the wires are. So now it's time to put up the panel, get that 90 secured. Once I have that 90 secured, and then I'll send Damon out there, put the other piece on, and then we start doing the outside stuff, and then put the wires back in. Okay. That looks good. We're measuring the downpipe into the house, put the LB, run the service lines, and hook them all up and call inspector. It's just rough. Okay, now you got to go inside again. Okay. Yeah. These are the load wires. This goes from the meter base, which is this, through here into the panel. And it needs 3 of them. 1 neutral, 2 hots.
Monday, yeah.
Now we just gotta wait till he grabs it, tells me if it's enough, and then I'm ready to go. Now you've got to put no lux, which is an anti-seize for aluminum. We hook up the lines to the panel, take pictures and send it to the inspector. And then Hydro will come and put the meter back on so we don't have to wait for them after we do all our wires. We don't get this very often, but the homeowner bringing us some coffee for us to warm up. Really appreciated. Like I can finish this panel within probably half an hour, get all the wires in. But for me, it's like you got to make it look nice. You're putting something new here, and you got to figure out all the distances of all, like especially on this side of the panel, those wires look pretty short, and we got to bring it behind that pipe, and you got to still make it look right. So that's why it takes me a little bit more time, because I'll feel better when I go home that I know that I did that all straight. So that when the homeowner comes down, some of them might not even care, but some of them really do care. And I just have to make it look nice. I like to do a good job. It's because it makes me sleep at night. Also, what I always recommend, it's totally up to the homeowner, because they probably don't really understand it too much, but we also totally recommend a surge protector, always. These things save a lot on your house. If you have a surge, which a surge is like a big surge of power coming from the street, like from hydro side, or it could be from inside, but this, or lightning, right? Lightning can really screw up your panel. So what happens is, instead of it blowing everything in your house, it's gonna blow this guy first. So once it blows this guy, all your appliances are okay. $600, you can get one of these. Versus if you get a surge in your house and all your screens from your oven, your microwave, your dryer, all those screens go. So that means you got to put new boards in all of them. So just imagine getting an appliance repair guy, paying the service fee, paying by hour, and then paying for parts. It's gonna exceed way more than this. Trust me, I live by this. Now, what are we gonna do with this? I originally wanted to put a 2x4 and maybe staple it up against the wall, but I'm gonna try to maybe put in an 1.25 inch pipe. That way it guards the wire. Hopefully it fits. See, this is the issue that I knew we were gonna have. And that would have looked so good too. Okay. Yeah, so we gotta go back to the supplier now, because all the wires that were on this side of the old panel, you're allowed, they actually went in through the service entry, but you're not allowed by code, because anything to go into the high voltage box they don't want. That's just code. You're only supposed to put the wires in this area here where you put all your breakers.
What can I get you?
A quad.
Oh, a Siemens quad?
Yeah, with double 15 and 15s on the side. I need 3 of those.
3 of those?
Yeah.
That's a good answer, because I only have 5.
Well, remember when I said about the junctions, I don't like doing it? I'm gonna have to do it. Because if I don't do it, it's not gonna look right. Now I'm gonna put it under here. Like, it's not bad to do junctions, as long as the junction is accessible. All hydros here to hook up. This is gonna be energized now. All in here. And then once we put our breakers on, power it up. So I'm just gonna get her turned on right now. Hooray! Okay, turn all the breakers on. Everything's all working good. The only thing that's not on is the dryer and the washer, because I'm still doing that junction. Also, I got to do that plug that's there, and just to see if the surge protector works. Yeah, she's good. Both green lights. That means it's working perfectly. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. It's not bad. Better than what it was before. Okay, checked out the whole house. Everything works fine. The only thing we're going to do is label the panel. We're going to clean up, sweep up, and make sure everything's all clean. Then after, gonna label it one by one. I got to go throughout the whole house. I'm Ronnie from Air One, and see you on the next one.